and welcome to Fatherhood. It's really nice having you. Karibu sana. My name is Anthony Ndiema. Another episode, great conversation on matters the father. All right? And right here we say this is a place where men speak, where sons listen, and where fathers hear. It's a safe space where we have conversations among us dads, sons, fathers who are navigating the quiet struggles of fatherhood and manhood. And we ask very interesting questions. Do I have father wounds? Do I even know what father wounds are? How do I raise my children to be better children? All right. What didn't I get that I can give to my children? Karibu sana. Subscribe to our channel, Fatherhood, and let's keep the conversations going. Last week we had Pastor Simon Mbevi. Great insights. And one of the insights that he mentioned is especially for children who are below 10 years, he said that quantity is quality. So you can't tell them, I will be here for 10 minutes and give you full attention. Quantity also means much to them. So let's keep considering that, and that will be definitely great. We are the CH Studios, Karibu Sana, amazing space where you can come in and have your conversation. Probably you've desired to have this purposeful conversation. This is a place. The contacts are right in there. Get to engage with us, and we'll have it going for you. All right, Karibu Sana. Today we have exported. We have a guest who's come all the way from South Africa. He's doing amazing stuff globally from Focus on the Family. And he leads the African, let's say continent on that. And he's here with us. He's also a father. He's a husband. And he's done many things which he'll tell us about. Graeme. It's good to have you, sir.
So good to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Karibu sana.
Yeah, Jambo.
Very nice. Asante. Karibu sana. Asante. Jambo.
I knew that was the greeting, but
yes.
yeah.
So a lot of those who visit will say Jambo. Yeah. But the right way to respond to that, you say si Jambo.
Si Jambo.
So when I say Jambo, you say si Jambo. Or I actually say Hujambo. Then you say si Jambo. Can we try that? So Graeme, Hujambo.
Si Jambo.
Very nice. Or you just say Poa.
Poa, yes. The young ones say Poa, and I'm one of the young ones.
Poa. Yeah. So I can say Mzimbiting. Mzimbiting now is a deep slang.
Okay.
Uko fresh, unasema niko fresh. Ama Poa. Poa is easy.
I'll stick to Poa.
Yeah, you stick to Poa. But it's good to have you. Thank you for making time.
It's great to be here.
To visit and to be with us, even as we talk about the father. Probably, let me give you an opportunity to tell us a bit more about who you are and what you do.
Yeah. Well, I'm the CEO of Focus on the Family Africa. Focus started in the US. A man named Dr. James Dobson started it, I think 48 years ago.
Wow.
He was a pediatric psychologist and was seeing the effects of the breakdown of the family on kids. Yeah. And he started this ministry, writing books, and got on radio. And the radio really boosted the ministry, and ultimately it went international. But with the real heart to say we're not just going to try and get into every country. We'll go where we're invited, where there's a need. But the truth is there's a need for family content in every country.
Right.
Because family is part of God's design.
Right.
It's his purpose. It's his desire, his best for humanity. And so in South Africa, we've been around for 33 years. The Focus on the Family Africa office. And our desire is to see families thriving across the nation and the continent of Africa. And so we want to provide help and resources for married couples to build healthy marriages, for parents to raise their kids with biblical values. Yeah. But we do a lot speaking directly to the youth as well, trying to build character into this next generation, identity. We want them to just know who they are and that the decisions they make now impact their future. And we want to promote the value of marriage and family to a generation that, at least I know in South Africa, for the large part, isn't seeing it modeled for them. And that's true in many parts of the continent as well. And so that's kind of the big picture of who we are, what we're about, thriving families. Our vision is redeemed communities, societies, and families in Africa through Christ.
Amazing. One of your guiding principles is the value of male and female.
Yes. Yeah.
I know that's a huge conversation
Yes. Yeah.
in our society today.
Yeah.
But that's how God created, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right back in Genesis, he created them, male and female, in his image.
Yeah.
And then he joined them together in this beautiful gift of marriage. He blessed them and he said, be fruitful.
Yeah.
And it's a picture of not only his design, but we bear the image of God, yes, as individuals, but we bear the image of God within that unit of the family. Right. If you think about the Trinity, the Trinity is, I'm not a theologian, but I know that philosophers throughout the ages have looked at all the diversity that exists in the world, and then search for some unifying factor. That's where we get the word universe, and university. And God, in his own being, is both unity and diversity within the Trinity. And so the Trinity says, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Yeah. And so God is about to make something that in a physical way bears his image. And it wasn't just Adam. Yeah. It was Adam and Eve blessed and put together. And then he said, be fruitful. And so you have this institution of the family. Yeah. And then you look at the Trinity. It's God the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, husband, wife, children, placed in this social unit. And it's something special about how we bear the image of God in this aspect of family. And then you spoke about male and female, that it can only happen according to that design.
Oh, yes.
And it's under attack because the enemy looks at that image and he says, I don't like that. Because it's a reminder, it's a representation of God. And so he says, I want to break that apart. Yeah. I want to strip away. I want to break husbands and wives. I want to strip away this understanding of gender, of how God has made these humans. And so we are under attack as the family unit. But on the other side, what a beautiful thing God has given us. And there is such hope. And we as Christians are able to shine the light on this beautiful gift of family and lift up family. Bible says marriage should be honored by all, and that goes for family as well.
Right. I love it. Let's talk about the father. Yeah. So what do you think about today's father? And it's really nice we have you giving us a different perspective. Yeah. Because in our setup, a lot of us were raised with fathers who there was very little connection in terms of emotional connection. And some of us were actually raised to, you're told you go to school. After you're done with school, my investment to you is education. So that when you come back, you'll take care of me. Yeah. That was the conversation. Yeah. It didn't go beyond getting to know the heart of this child and so on. Yeah. So it will be great to hear where is today's father from your perspective and where you are.
And it's a big question. And I want to maybe start with hope.
Yes.
Because I do believe that God is doing a new thing and there's hope for today's fathers. And there is, I think, a generation of fathers that are seeing their value as a father.
Amazing.
But then I'll flip over and come back to hope.
All
but there's a lot of dysfunction in South Africa. The vast majority of kids are raised without a father. They're raised in single parent homes, generally a single mom, or an aunt or a gran, and then even as you spoke about, even when in the rest of Africa where there are fathers present, often they're not emotionally present, and so they're physically there, but they're not connecting. Right. There's something about, I think, what God put in us as men, that we crave significance and success, and sometimes I think it's hard for us to sense and feel that sometimes within the family domain. And that's wrong, because it's easier to see it at the office We can see success in the work that we're doing. We can measure that more easily. And then there's also just stereotypes. It's how we were raised. It's what is the role of the man in the home, and it's sometimes from generations that old school mindset. No, the man's role is just to provide, and then the wife must to do kind of everything else. But these days the wife must also contribute to the providing and still look after the kids and the meals and everything. It can be cultural. I know we face that often in South Africa. Different cultures that all have this steeped in understanding of the man's role that isn't true. It isn't biblical, and so we have to break those stereotypes, and we have to create avenues for fathers to see success in the home, and recognize the value and the importance of their presence. Right. That when they look at the stats of father absent homes, and I don't know them off by heart, but a huge, much higher instance of kids getting involved in drugs and alcohol and not finishing school, and when there's no father in the home. But interestingly, even when it's an emotionally absent father, those stats remain pretty much the same. And so fathers need to engage. We really, really have to up our game and recognize that there's a purpose and there's a plan for us as fathers, and there's things that fathers do that mothers can't do. If you think of, if I were to say to all your viewers, if you picture a child being thrown in the air, which parent is it that's throwing the child in the air? It's very likely not the mother, because the mother is the nurturer. She gasps in horror as the father throws. But she's there to be that nurturer. She's there to be that protector in that sense. The father wants the kid to push the limits. It's a case of, why don't you swing a little higher, climb a little further? And so and then of course, for the father to teach the role of the man, for whether it's for a daughter or a son. And so it's absolutely vital. And all the stats show just how vital it is for that father to be present in the home.
You have 3 daughters. All right. And so you're a father as well. We'd really love to hear how that has been for you, your father's story.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, of all that, well, I don't have many titles, but my greatest title is dad.
Amazing.
And it's been the joy of my life to raise these girls. They're all teenagers now, so 17, 16, 13. They're all going to be in high school next year. And my eldest is going to be in her final year of high school. So before I know it, she's going to be leaving the home, and it grieves me already. But what's been incredible is that being surrounded by all the content and resources of Focus on the Family has made such an impact in my parenting and my husbanding. And it's just principles. It's biblical principles, but I'm constantly getting these reminders every day. I'm listening to the Focus broadcast. We're doing marriage events and parenting events. And a lot of the time, it's not rocket science. It's not brand new, interesting things. It's just reminders. This is what you're called to. This is what's important. Make sure you're encouraging. Make sure you're investing in the lives of your family and your kids. And it doesn't take much more than intentionality. It's saying, which is hard because we're busy and there's a lot going on, and I'm guilty often, and I think, I've dropped the ball here. Again. But I'm constantly getting that reminder, and that's why what you're doing is so good. It's just that reminder, again and again, we can do better. Right. We must do better. We're called to do better.
Right. You talk about intentionality. What are some of the things? And to be very honest, we live very busy lives. Sometimes we have to travel. Sometimes we have to, make ends meet. What are some of the things for you that you have been very intentional about? That you can actually look back and say, there's results specifically for this.
I think time is one thing.
Yeah.
And it's hard. As you say, we're busy, but it's the truth of the matter is it's sometimes we waste time on things that are less important. You can spend an hour scrolling through social media or watching a TV program, and it's choosing to say, no, I'm going to set aside those things that may even be good things. It might be work or for something better. I think relationship for me has been absolutely key. And obviously there's, your kids go through stages, and when they're young, you're just nurturing them as babies. And as they get a little bit older, you become that teacher trainer, and then you become more of a coach as they get into the teenage years, and your relationship changes. But being intentional about investing and building into that relationship, not at the expense of the discipline, of the correction that's required, you're not trying to be their friend in that relationship, but you're not wanting to damage the relationship. Because as those kids grow, and you are letting them out slowly but surely, because you're getting them ready for the day that they're going to be on their own. You're raising adults, not raising kids. You've got to be investing in that relationship, because your influence grows. When you have influence, when you have relationship, you have influence.
I love it. When you have relationship, you have influence.
And as the kids get older, your authority does decline, because when they hit 18, they can start making decisions for them. Well, they can start making decisions for themselves when they're before 18, but they get to legally a point where they can say, I'm on my own.
Right.
And if you haven't built relationship, if it's just all been about discipline and correction, they can say, well, now I can leave that behind. But if you've built relationship, even though they're responsible for themselves, they come to you for advice and guidance, because you still have that relationship. So I think those are a couple of the keys that I've taken as vital in my parenting. The last one I'd say is I learned a long time ago about 3 styles of parenting. The authoritarian parent, the permissive parent, and then in between is that assertive parent.
Right.
And I've seen all 3 of these parents, and I agreed. I just knew I wanted to be that assertive parent, because the authoritarian parent just sets thousands of rules, and it's just so rigid. And these kids, ultimately, it's performance. It's you better do this, and you've got to do it this way, and it's my way or the highway. Under my roof, you will do it this way. And there's space for authority, but authoritarianism, it just ultimately breeds rebellion. Because when those kids get to a point where they're starting to make decisions for themselves, they reject it. And because of it's hard to build relationship as an authoritarian. But on the flip side, the permissive, although you might want to be your child's friend, you can't have that as your goal when they're young, because you're their parents, and parents have to say and do things that are not popular with kids.
That's true. Railguards.
Because you're called to create those guards, protect them, guide them, and advise them. And so the permissive parent just doesn't do any of that.
Yeah. You do what you need to do.
You do whatever you want to do, and there's no consequences.
And many times, sometimes you think you're protecting them from what you did not get.
Yes.
Your parent was authoritarian.
Yeah. So
you
go
think,
the other side.
let me know. I will not
Absolutely.
allow my kids to go that direction.
Yeah. But what you do is you say, the kid doesn't get his homework done in time, or he's late for his soccer coach, or and the parent just lets it happen, and there's no consequences. But one day it's not going to be the geography homework, it's going to be a report for his boss. And he's not going to be late for his soccer coach, it's going to be a job interview. And so you've got to, it's putting in the effort to train them for the things that are going to be important for them in life. And the assertive parent doesn't have thousands of rules, they have as few rules as possible, but those rules they enforce. And it's often rules around values. It's not just you got to lay out your shoes in the right order, because really, what difference does that make? But when it comes to things around honesty and integrity and trust, those things are important. So you give consequences around breaches in trust and those kinds of things. But you say what you mean, and you mean what you say. And so those are some of the things that I've applied, I think, as best as I can as a father. I've got 3 beautiful girls inside and out. So I must be doing something right.
Yeah. You must have done something right. And the early years, of course, lay a very critical foundation.
Yeah.
If you were not applying those things, then when they get to teenagehood, they think you were not there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
we don't have a connection.
Yeah.
It becomes harder, right?
Yeah, so much is formed in those, they call it the formative years.
Yes, formative years.
And so absolutely you can't, I do want to say there's always hope. Again, for those parents, their kids are teenagers and they're battling, there's still ways that they can restore those relationships, that they can begin to parent well. Right. But for those young parents or yet to be parents, absolutely start young. Make sure you and I was speaking to someone just today about the difference between punishment and discipline. That discipline, punishment is it's not correcting and guiding. It's just harming a child for something they've done in the past.
Yeah.
God isn't a God of punishment. He's a God of discipline. Discipline is about training and correcting and guiding for the future. It's future focused. The root of discipline is disciple. And so we are all disciples. God, the Bible says he disciplines the ones he loves. It comes from a place of love. It's because we want the best for our child. Amazing. And so the discipline that we offer isn't out of anger because you've done something wrong. It's out of, I want you to get this right next time. I want to teach you something because there's a better way. And so that's got to be our heart. Yeah. And we can get it wrong. We're all human and we make mistakes, but even when we make mistakes, we can apologize. That's Sometimes true. Our kids need to hear that from us. They need to hear us say, I'm sorry, I lost my cool there. I shouted, I shouldn't have shouted. Will you forgive me? Yeah. Kids realize, wow, even parents need forgiveness.
Yeah, that's quite a new concept in many African traditional homes. Yeah. But again, the kids need to see you connecting. As you connect with them, you're connecting with God. They also connect with you. Yeah. And they connect with you right. Yeah. We took 2 quick questions, then we'll release you. Big debate on tech since 2012. Yeah. A lot of our children are living on addiction material. Sure. It's just reels, shorts. Yeah. And a friend of mine yesterday was telling me, so he tracks how the son does his, and there are all these apps to get to see what happens. Yeah. There's a day he realized he had watched 425 videos. Yeah. Just shorts. Yeah. What I mean, there's this, what is happening and what do we need to do in this tech? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially as a father.
Yeah. I think it's an area we have to put boundaries in place. It is absolutely changing this next generation. It is. And there's so much, there's a book by an author, Jonathan
Haidt.
Yes. And he wrote The Anxious Generation. Yeah. There's so much, and we could speak for hours about it. The social media, the comparison, the social media reel is all the best of, what that person puts in, and we compare it with our blooper reel. Yeah. And we, kids are getting depressed around these things. They're feeling left out there. And so but beyond that, it's just as you say, just scrolling through all these reels, and it's just it's overload, and beyond that there's grooming, there's all kinds of other dangers, there's all these different communities that kids in, they're finding their people that they think are their community, and then ending up going down a terrible road, and so I think as parents we cannot afford to be apathetic when it comes to the technology. Right. And as much as it might be hard, our kids might push back because all of their friends have got it. All of the but I think that as parents we've got to say, and we've got to have conversations with them and explain. It's not just you're not getting it because in this house you don't do that. It's talking with them around the whys, and even speaking about this anxious generation and why we're wanting to guard our hearts around all of these things. And it's not to say we don't allow anything, because we can't bubble wrap our kids. We can't protect them from everything. But I think we've got to create boundaries. So I would say delay as much as possible in terms of the smartphone. Set those screen limits.
Right.
Be very aware of what's going on in that world. You've got to say up front, even when you give the child a phone, it's, in fact, legally in South Africa, there's something called RICA, which an adult has to, so a child can't essentially legally own that phone or that SIM card.
Yeah.
And so it's like, this is my phone that I'm allowing you to have. But with that comes a responsibility, but also accountability. I can check what's going on the phone, and it's my role to do that as a parent, because I've got to guard and protect you and your heart.
Right.
And so it's being intentional to check what's going on, only slowly allow some of the different apps as they get older and more mature. Some parents will give their kids phones super young and let them have everything from TikTok and Instagram, Snapchat, the whole works, and they're gaming. They're overwhelmed. It must start small and maybe grow gradually, and then constant conversations. What's going on? How's it going? Checking those things. Don't let the kids have phones in their bedrooms at night, particularly. There's ways that we can guard. And then I should have said this about fathering earlier. The dinner table.
Oh, yes.
Guard the sanctity of the dinner table from technology, yes, but also use that time. I think it's one of the best ways to build that family cohesion, is just saying, we're going to have dinner together. We're not sitting watching TV. We're going to have conversation. There's no phones. Because it's a way to connect and to build that relationship that we've been speaking about as well.
And just to come down from all the pressures and to engage one-on-one.
And have tech-free times, whether it's a day, Sundays there's no tech, or we've got to put, and it's different for different families. We wouldn't prescribe this is what it should be, but I think it's for parents to say, let's put together. We even encourage you could create a little contract as a family and say, look, this is our digital contract. And this is what we allowed, and this is what we do, and this is our values around these things. And we all agree on it. The kids can have input. How long do you think you should have? Because even kids, they probably won't say, I need 9 hours of screen time. And yet, if you don't put something in place, they'll get there.
Dopamine.
Exactly.
You just need to find opportunities. Keep bringing it down.
Absolutely. And it's building relational ability, because these kids that are growing up just constantly on screens and text, they're not learning the art of conversation. They're not learning the art of face-to-face communication, and we've got to, as parents, help them with that, teach them and train them in that.
Amazing. I love it. So there's this other aspect of as fathers, as we parent our children, they also need to see us being very kind to their mother.
Yes.
Why is that very, very important?
I've heard so many experts say one of the primary things you can do in your parenting is to have a strong marriage, because the kids feel safe and secure when they know the home is secure because the marriage is strong. But also, one of my greatest goals with my girls, because I've got 3 daughters, is for them to see how they should be treated by their future husbands. So the way I treat their mother is setting the standard for what they should look for ultimately in a man that'll be their husband. And so I've said to them, listen, you are my princesses, but your mother is the queen.
I love it.
And one day you guys are going to grow up and leave, and you're going to be gone. But this
queen.
marriage relationship, this is for life.
That's true.
And so you guys are going to finish school and leave the home, but this relationship is forever. And so I have to prioritize this relationship. And sometimes that means I have to, you might want me for something, but I'm saying for right now, I've got to give my energy and attention to this. And obviously you balance it, but
That's true.
I think it's absolutely vital for men, with boys and with girls. With boys, obviously, it's also training these young men. This is how you're going to treat, how you're going to be a gentleman, because it's so desperate. I know, I don't know what the stats are in Kenya. In South Africa, we have an incredibly horrific rate of gender-based violence, and we've got to change that. And part of that is helping fathers and husbands with principles on how they should treat their spouse. We are, as Christians, we've got to follow Jesus' lead. Yes, he didn't get married and have kids, but he was gentle. He was kind. He was a servant. He laid down his life. And we've got that model. Right. As a husband, that's what we're called to. As Jesus laid down his life and loved the church, is what we're called to love our bride. And so, it's a big call, but it's a vital one.
Wow, I love it. As we bring this to the end, I mean, you've said quite some nuggets, heavy ones for the fathers. There are fathers who are struggling today because of affirmation. They never got it, and they're in marriage, and we keep talking about this right here, and probably they have met this empowered woman, and now it's even trickier that they are seeking for a level of affirmation, but I can't find it in this woman, because the woman is also a corporate woman. They have things going. They're wondering, do I affirm you, or do you take leadership? And it can be a very tricky place for a man to find himself. And I just want you to speak hope to them again.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the place they are in.
Yeah, I think it's a very real issue, and I think a lot of men struggle with insecurity.
Insecurity, yes.
And that's a reality. And now married to a strong woman, and they feel greater sense of insecurity. What we teach often in marriage is so much of it is. Here's an interesting thing. The wrong question is, how can I have a better marriage? Because a marriage is two people.
Yeah.
And I don't have control over the other person. I only have control over myself.
That's right.
I have influence over the other person, but I only have control over myself. So the wrong question is, how do I have a better marriage? The right question is, how do I be a better spouse?
I love it.
And so for the husband to say, he might be struggling with insecurities, he might be battling with communication, but it's saying, I'm going to work on me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to focus on her.
Right.
I'm not going to try and change the dynamic around what she's doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, what can I own? What can I change? If I'm called to be the leader of this family, how do I lead well? And that doesn't mean just calling the shots and bulldozing over, but it means taking that role seriously in terms of spiritual. It's praying for my family. It's leading as a servant. And in our marriage, one of the key things that we talk about from a marriage relationship perspective is it takes, in order to have a healthy, thriving marriage, it takes two open hearts. If you're going to have fun and intimacy and connection and community and communion and all of those things within marriage, that don't happen when those hearts are closed to each other. But again, as a husband, I can't crowbar my spouse's heart open, but I can make my heart open. And it's hard, it's vulnerable, because I don't know that she's going to love me in response, but my job and my calling as a husband is to keep my heart open to my spouse. And that means if I catch myself, I'm getting angry, I'm getting upset, I take a time out. I make sure that I get my heart open before I engage. But also, it's my job, as much as I can't dictate I can't crowbar my spouse's heart, but I can create an environment that feels like the safest place on earth for my spouse.
Right.
And in that safe space, her heart opens to me. And so my greatest goal in our marriage is to create an environment of safety and security, that my wife knows that I'm not going anywhere. She knows that I'm committed to this relationship. She knows that I'm on her team. She knows that I value her for who she is. I recognize the value that she holds, and that's of inestimable value. God calls her his treasured possession, his glorious inheritance. He's made her in his image. She's an image bearer of the Most High God, fearfully and wonderfully made. Yeah. I recognize that, and she knows that I recognize that. I cherish her, and then I do things that make her feel loved.
Yeah.
The 5 Love Languages is a phenomenal book. Dr. Gary Chapman, he wrote these. And it's different forms of love that make us feel loved. Some people feel loved when we bring them a gift.
Yeah.
Some people feel loved when we speak words of affirmation. Is it time? Is it acts of service? Find out. And it's not just those 5.
Right.
There might be very specific things.
True.
You know, my wife loves it when I give her a back rub.
Right.
And it's physical touch, I guess. Yeah. But find out those things and then do those things often, because if I can cherish my wife, if I can nourish her and do things that make her feel loved, I create that environment of safety and security. And although, as I said, I can't make her heart open, her heart will naturally open in that environment. And as a father, as a husband, I've got to focus on me. We've got a marriage program that's for crisis marriage, and it's 16 weeks curriculum.
Wow!
But the first 8 weeks, the husband and wife meet separately, and the purpose of that is that the half of it is about me. Before exactly. Because generally we come into if we're struggling with something, we're saying the problem is she doesn't, and she this, and she that. And I've got to start saying, okay, before we get to anything there, what can I do? Where am I failing? How do I'm responsible for me.
For me,
and I only have control over me. And so let's work on that.
Amazing. Oh, beautiful. There's so much to talk about, but we need to release you also to go and do other assignments. We usually pick a number of chords from their conversation. So many, but one that stands out is, as a father and as a husband, you need to create an environment of safety, security, and love in your home. And don't ask the question. The wrong question is, how will my marriage? How do I make my marriage better? It's how do I become a better spouse, even in this marriage? All right. For the kids, please don't be quick to give them the gadgets. Keep delaying. It's very, very important and critical at this age and time. Thank you so much, Graeme, for making time to be with us. How do we connect with the Focus?
The best way is through our website. There's so many connections through there, and there's so much content. There's video content, audio content, articles, books. So safamily.co.za is the address. safamily.co.za. If you just Google Focus on the Family Africa, it should come up. And we offer counseling online. We've got all of these resources, so much online. So it really does cover the breadth of Africa, and that's our heart.
Great. Looking forward to more engagements and a stronger, better family in Africa.
Amen.
And beyond.
All
right.
So
our regards when you go back to Durban.
Thank you.
And as you travel globally.
Thank you so much.
Enriching families.
Yeah.
All right.
Blessings.
So Graeme together with us. The other name is, I will have challenges pronouncing it. Just say it.
The surname, Schnell.
Schnell.
Graeme Schnell.
Graeme Schnell. CEO of Focus on Family Africa, together with us right here on Fatherhood. And I hope that you've been able to learn and get what is very critical for you as a father, as you nurture your children, as you take care of your family and your wife. May God give you grace to do that, all right? So God bless you. We see you again on another episode. Baraka.